Right, so hey everyone, in this video we're going to look at Gemma 4 billion parameter model, and we're going to test it. I'm going to test it on my laptop, which is fairly small. It's a fairly small Surface laptop. Let's have a look at specifications. So it's 32 gig of RAM and basically 12th generation i7. I thought it's actually i9, so it's actually a little bit worse than I thought, but it's 12th generation i7 like Intel, with 32 gigabytes RAM of storage. So what I want to test is basically, one, how fast it's going to, Gemma 4, how fast it's going to work on my laptop, tablet, whatever you want to name it. And second, how good Gemma is, really. So I've seen like some shorts about Gemma, for people run it on the phone. It's optimized for the phone, like especially the 2 billion and 4 billion parameter models. And there's a lot of hype around it. I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to others' videos or anything like that, but there's always camp of I'm doing a video just to get some views and talking about Gemma being being so amazing for such a small model, and I'm sure a lot of it is true, but what I want to check is how true this really is, and see if if it's good enough for my small laptop to do things like email triage and everything else, which I don't really want to connect it to my emails just yet, but I prepared like quick few prompts. I asked basically ChatGPT, which is quite lazy as well, but never mind, to basically create few prompts that we can paste into our Gemma and see if she can give us some good answers. So one thing is, how long does it take for small model like 4 billion parameter, but we can see already some output, so that's good. Okay. So as you can see, the actual tests that were prepared by ChatGPT, they're actually quite good tests. Although probably due to my laptop the speed is not so amazing, I still think it is reasonably smart models by the look of it. I mean, looking at the output of it, I remember like probably around a year ago, most of the time I run like the models that I run. Well, I don't run models locally because I never believe my my laptop can handle it, as I was testing like maybe 1 year ago, older version of Gemma 2 or maybe Gemma 3. They were not so smart, and if I wanted like smarter, bigger model, it was literally taking too long to do even simple tasks. So for the email triage and everything like that, I think it was still a little bit early. But now I kind of, although it's not super fast, the kind of the quality of output seems to be reasonably good, and the speed is not so bad. So maybe I can try to figure out if I can incorporate it into my agentic workflow specifically for like, for my email triage and everything else. So that is quite good answer. It actually, within one prompt, we ask it to do basically many different instructions. Write 4 sentences. Okay, so there's a thinking that it does. There's a lot of thinking that it does. Done thinking. And let's see what it did. So it's kind of like interesting. The first letter of each sentence must spell the word code. Each sentence must contain a number. Do not use the letter A anywhere, and the topic must be space exploration. So let's see how we did. Code, that is actually amazing. So that's the first thing. Let me bring that over and see how well did it perform. So write 4 sentences. We tick that box, definitely looking at what I can see here. They spell code, so that is done. Each sentence must contain a number. So the first one does. The second one, yes, 1,000 miles, 7 solid moons. That's amazing. And 20, yeah, that's ticking the box. Do not use letter A anywhere. So that probably is a little bit more tricky. So the surface, it has A. Or else I'm misunderstanding something. So it failed on basically using letter A. So gas giant has A and A. So I guess maybe like the point 4, it was quite difficult. So check all words. So even the thinking says that it checked all the words and it did use letter A. Topic is space exploration. We've got, so the 5th point is space exploration, and that ticked the box. So I think it failed on number 4, which is don't use letter A anywhere. Let's do the follow-up question. Do you know? So that's a follow-up question, and let's see if it can figure out himself why did it fail. So we've got Jason, tooling, Okay, so it can see the context. That's fine. And then actually breaks everything down. Surface. Oh yeah, that actually did figure out that, you know. That's pretty cool. I'm actually quite impressed that for this such a small model, it kind of can, although it failed on number 4 here, it's still going to self-correct itself. I hope so. So far, it was able to figure out all the A's that it missed. And to be fair, if you look at that, it's probably the most difficult out of the 5 different questions, especially knowing from like past experience and all the videos that test ChatGPT how to do the strawberries in R's in strawberry and all that. I think it was R's. Right, so kind of happy with that, although it didn't pass all 4. It kind of went back and found the actual way, good way of checking how many, well, what it went wrong, and it was able to figure out why. So that's pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to ask it how many are in strawberry. I'm actually quite interested what it's going to reply. Is it going to reply to all 3? I actually have seen in some of the output, it kind of packaged. Well, that is quite. Is it only one? Is it right? Is it? Okay, that's okay. It answered that without thinking. Now it's using kind of some ways of breaking it down. Okay. Is okay, let's get stuck a little bit on that. I'm almost like quietly hoping that it's going to figure it out. That's actually pretty amazing. I like the way it breaks things down. Even, considering that, was it last year or 2 years ago, the smartest models from, OpenAI couldn't figure out the free as in Strawberry. That is amazing. That 4 billion model, not the smallest, but just above, like, it's crazy. It's 4 billion parameter model and it can do stuff like that. Right, let's go to the second question. And now the second question, let me show you the question. Actually, I don't need to show you the question in ChatGPT because it doesn't really make sense, because we're going to paste it into here anyways. So, right, so this is basically another question. Now we mix in the context now, so we're not giving it like, the best kind of clean slate to start, but this is like typical question, I believe, that will test basically how well it will perform in tool calling and things like that. And we've got like typical output that you would use to basically output the result of the tool call. But yeah, it's kind of probably ultimate test to see if it can follow or do the tool calling, which is what probably is like one of the most important things for me at least. And I'm now at this stage, I'm really hoping that, we are going into the territory, territory where small models can basically perform, simple tasks. And it almost will mean that, we still will need like large language model like frontier models to do their very complicated stuff. But I think we But this is amazing. It's kind of outputted, yeah, perfect thing. I mean, look, at this stage, I'm kind of very surprised. Again, the speed of it is not so amazing, but there will be a lot of things like for email triage where the speed might be of importance, but not as much, because if I get some, emails that are sitting there for a couple of minutes and they are processed and even categorized and everything thing like that, I will be more than happy for it to wait a little bit longer, to be examined and everything else. So for me, it's not that much of a big of a deal, and it looks like this kind of models, what Gemma 4 would probably be more than capable to to handle a lot of stuff. I mean, it's still probably I'm getting overexcited and too hyped about it, and it I'm kind of almost like thinking it's too perfect to be true, and probably until I hook it up to some system where I give it real tasks to do it, I might be a little bit disappointed, but I think it's promising, specifically for things that I don't really want to share with the frontier models. I think that I might start using it. Right. I've got an idea. So I've got a few more tests I want to run. So let's run the tests. Oh, that was a little bit too much. So follow the steps. So I got another question here. So far so good. City London to calculator. That is actually, I think I was a little bit overexcited. Right, actually, no, actually it's good. I just read through the question and it looks like good. So I'm going to say it passed. I'm back to be hyped again. So now we've got basically follow the steps exactly. So this is like chain of thought experiment. Think of a fruit, reverse the letters, convert the reversed word to uppercase, replace the second letter with star, output only the final word. So imagine it's going to basically show us the thinking for that, and I'm kind of hoping. But yeah, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look how is this going to turn out. It's yeah. I'm almost thinking, shall I? I probably will. Kind of thinking out loud now how I'm going to approach basically running those models. So I'm thinking I'm going to probably run it on either WSL directly, or I'm going to put it on the Docker container. I was thinking a little bit longer on this one. And it's not that big of a... I've started to think, okay. Think of a fruit. Amazing. Apple. What do we have? Reverse the letters. Elpa. Yes. Convert the reverse word to uppercase. Now, kind of, it started already with the uppercase, so yeah, fine. Let's choose mango. I wonder actually why it had to do it twice. It's almost like pointless on one hand, but you know, we had Apple, and why, almost like why, you know, you had to basically change to mango because Apple was quite good. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's a pass. It can follow instructions. It can follow basically chain of thought. It can basically tool call. So I'm thinking it's amazing. I'm not really that hyped about Gemma for itself. I'm just hyped about the fact that we live in a world where, and it's within few years, where such a small model can perform almost no, I'm probably getting a little bit overhyped about it, but it can perform kind of tasks that, you know, GPT-4 probably couldn't, but fine. I don't know if it was 3.5 or 4, but never mind. It's a tiny, tiny model that I can run on my PC, and it's crazy how well it performs. Let's do some memory test. alpha times beta, and that is, my dear, correct 70, what? Alpha times beta, so it's 70, 84. Ready? Or minus gamma. Okay, sorry, my bad. Oh, I'm like stupid. So what do we have? We've got compute alpha times beta minus gamma. So that should be 80, isn't it? Or am I stupid? I need to get a calculator. I think it should be 80. Okay, so what do we have? We've got alpha times beta, so 7 times times 12. That's 84, and minus 4 should be 80. Should I, like, are you sure about the answer? It can definitely spell better than me. Okay. Right, so let's memorize these values. Right, fine. So it's almost like if it's not thinking, it probably makes a little bit more mistakes than when it is thinking, because when it's thinking, it's clearly breaking things down. So maybe right, I want to check something. I'm not as good with, let me bring, I'm not as good with Olama, to be honest, and I don't fully know the capabilities of Olama. So what I want to do is ask the question. I'm playing with Olama and Gemma 4 model. Gemma 4 model 4 billion or E4B supports thinking, but it not always is using the thinking mode. Is there any option in Olama to force the thinking of the model on every iteration? So out of the box, when I load the model, is there any, like, a toggle that will basically force the model to always do the thinking? Let's see what the answer is. Okay, so we can always think Okay. Okay, well, that makes sense. So we just can prompt it to think, but you can't force it programmatically. Still, look, it's still kind of brilliant thing to do. It does make small mistakes now and then, but I guess like in general, I think it's a really good model. I think I'm just gonna do the last one, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping not to be disappointed. I think I'm going to conclude the video after this one, but so far is going well. So we've got return a table with exactly 3 rows and 2 columns. Use markdown table format. Column headers, animal, lifespan. Animal must be mammal, lifespan must be number only. No extra text before or after table. So yeah, it did output basically markdown. Just to prove the point, I'm going to open windsurf. It looks correct to me, but just to prove the point for that video, I'm just going to paste it here. Right. Open folder. I'm just going to temporarily select the folder. Yes. I can later get rid of it. Why? Right. Right, I am going to just basically close it all off and create a new file in my existing project. I can later remove it. Okay, rename it. As I said, it does look good, but just to be sure, I am going to quickly put it into MD file and test it. Right, and now we can see, yeah, just to verify, it is markdown table. Amazing. Look guys, I think Gemma E4B is a go for a lot of things. I still wouldn't probably give it tasks to code, but I think, you know, I probably want to run some more tests on email triages and things like that. Basically, things that are personal to you that you don't want to basically give like, you know, any frontier model or any Chinese model access that is run somewhere in the cloud through API, then I think Gemma 4 should be fine. I probably will do some playing around with the email side of things and triaging and stuff like that. And then once I find out, I might do another video just to wrap up. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and